Hello everybody and welcome to For Honor. This was footage from the closed beta that ran at close to the end of January. For anyone who's not up on For Honor, it's a upcoming multiplayer combat game that's set within a kind of, I'm going to guess, an alternative history Earth where there are now factions of samurai, Vikings and feudal knights, and the three factions are basically having a good old rook. And you will determine the victor of said rook by joining one of the three factions and playing in rather enjoyable bouts of medieval combat. Here I am playing one of the samurai classes. It's called the Nobushi. One of the nice things that I found in the multiplayer so far is that when you pick a match to play, whether it be against the AI or against other players, you aren't locked to any of the particular classes from the factions. You represent the faction, so for instance you pick Vikings, but you can still play as, say, a Orochi or a Crusader Knight, basically, and that doesn't really make any difference. It's all just who you want to play and how you want to play them for your team. Every class, of which there are 4 in each of the 3 factions, has a very different style of play, different weapons. This match is a Dominion game, which is probably the sort of showpiece game of For Honor. You have 3 points you have to capture on the map, and there's these sort of AI gribblies, so you can see me attacking, and they're kind of like one-hit things. They can be used to give you points. For some classes it can heal, and they end up giving you like little bits of XP that'll help you unlock your abilities for your class. And you do some really nasty kills on them with like chain attacks and stuff like that. I guess they also give you a chance to sort of get used to your class's attack animations and their swings and stuff. But the combat system in the game is very, very in-depth. It sort of reminds me of games, if you ever played War of the Vikings or War of the Roses prior to that, it's very similar kind of style. That it's very sword and board type, counters, blocks, picking the right moment to swing, that kind of thing. Not quite as in-depth in the sense of where you aim and the such, but the combat between two player characters can be very intense. You have to sort of default is you press Alt and you kind of lock onto that character, and then you kind of move around each other, and depending on where you move the mouse, whether it be to the left, the right or above, determines how you counter. You can see before they swing, it will give you like a highlight of what direction they're swinging from, and then you can move the mouse to counter that blow. And every character has like a different stamina meter, so you can't block indefinitely, and even blocking does a little tiny bit of damage to you, so it's possible to basically just hammer through someone's guard until they're dead. But the idea is supposed to be trying to counter at the right moment using fast and heavy attacks, and utilising your class's range and abilities to the best of effect. And in a good one-on-one fight, they can last a little while, and yeah, there is quite the elation to getting that sort of counter attack at the right moment, and then putting them into a down state and hitting them with an execution move, which can be things like beheadings or just sort of fancy throws. So like the Nobushi, I think, has a kind of she basically does like a fucking snapmare from professional wrestling. She sort of jumps over and throws them over her shoulder, and like it doesn't snap the neck or anything, it just throws them on the floor. It looks kind of cool. And the game has probably got a lot of little subtleties in the combat that people are going to explore over time. Being this was the closed beta period, it was sort of there was a lot of experimentation. But one of the things I really like about it is if you just want to play with a few friends, you can, and you don't have to worry about fighting other players. You can just go against the AI, which is what this video is. It's 4 players versus 4 AI. And the AI are surprisingly good, at least maybe for novices and intermediates. I don't know what it's like at the higher levels, but apparently you can tweak the AI difficulty to make them a little tougher if you need them to be a bit more of a challenge. And of course there's still fighting against other players if that's what you want to do. But from what I can tell, all the modes are available online against other players or just against the AI as well. So if you want to do one-on-one dueling with 2 particular classes, you can. If you want to do the 2v2, you can do that. And you know, there's lots of little details. Animations are gorgeous. I really enjoyed the combat overall, the look of it and the feel. And yeah, I played a lot as the knight, who had a very different style of play to this Nobushi, who focused more on their speed and the range of the naginata that she uses. And I also like the fact that the longer you fight, the more sort of blood-soaked. As you can see, the back of her gear there's just soaked in blood. It's pretty cool. I don't know, just nice little touches like that. I almost got jumped by 3 players, so that's why I ran. But the Dominion mode, as I was saying earlier, basically you can see the 2 bars there, and the first team to get their bar to 1,000 points means that the other team are then at risk that when they die they don't respawn. Unless they can recapture points and reduce your score, or they can kill one of your guys and reduce your score. Basically, dropping it below 1,000, you can respawn again. So if you get downed, you have to be revived. And obviously, the rush is on then to try and get that 1,000-point victory and kill the other team. But it can make matches last quite a while as you sort of go back and forth at the top of the score points near the end. So you can see here I'm fighting one of the tougher classes. It has a sort of a heavier guard, but I think one of the other players used an ability like a smoke grenade. As I said, like the Nobushi has a kind of, I think, like a debuff when she hits with her triple combo, and she can call in an arrow strike. So you saw me do that earlier. You can just sort of call in like flaming arrows on a point. Like the Knight, for instance, can heal when they kill Gribblies, or they can buff their allies around them and make them attack quicker, and their stamina recharges faster and stuff. So, I don't know, there's going to be a lot to sort of learn with this, and I think Ubisoft are taking the kind of Rainbow Six approach, the Siege game approach, where there's going to be a heavy focus on the kind of competitive side of this. I honestly see this becoming quite popular as a competitive esports type game, that you're going to have probably quite a few sort of Twitch streamers playing this as well. I'll certainly try and get a few Twitch streams for myself, just having a look at the different classes and maybe some of the other modes. And yeah, this is like a little victory scene, so when you win, you see like your guys like killing all the poor bastards who couldn't escape in time. So it's just an average fight there. That was quite cool, and you get end match loot, although annoyingly I didn't on that one. But you get different loot, so you can have different weapons and different armor pieces, so your characters can look visually different. You can get different helmets and chest pieces, shoulder pieces, arm pieces. You can get different weapon pieces, so you can customize the weapon to your playstyle. You know, having a faster weapon that may do a little less damage, or a weapon that has a higher guard, so you can defend more for longer periods. So that's interesting to see how that's going to develop. This is the world map that shows off the sort of the faction war that's going on. So you've got green samurai, red Viking, and the yellow was the knights, and you can sort of deploy assets there and try and conquer each other's territory. I don't know whether that meta game will ever really be a big part. These were the classes that were available in the beta build. There's going to be 4 for each faction, as I said, but in the beta there was just 3 for each faction. So these are the Viking ones there. And basically each faction sort of breaks down as having a kind of good all-rounder, a big heavy one, a fast mover, and I think they have sort of like a specialist type, like an assassin type. And as I said, with the customization, this is just having a look. Some classes you can change the gender. The Nobushi is locked as being female, but you can have a male or female knight, for instance, or a male and female Viking. There's lots of little patterns, and so if you make your own emblem that you can put on your character, you can sort of plaster that across different parts. You unlock lots of different emblems as you go along, as you level up. This is crests that you can put on your helmets. There's quite a few of them. There's different, these are like different patterns that you can put on. You can customize visually. You can customize it color wise. There's going to be a lot. It wouldn't surprise me if Ubisoft stick in a lot of kind of free DLC of that, maybe, or maybe even do packs of it. I'm not sure how popular that would be, how many they'd sell. But from the off, by the looks of it, the actual base game is going to have a lot of little sort of symbol customization and how you want to make your character, if you want like kind of asymmetrical like kind of pattern. I like the fact that there's lots of different colour channels that you can pick for when you're sort of neutral, and then there's an offensive and defensive setup, so your character's colours can even be a little bit different in each game type. So I'm quite looking forward to the game. I'm probably going to pick... I'm getting it for my birthday, but I would pick it up normally anyway. As I said, I think the thing that really clinched it for me is the fact that I could play it against the AI. I don't have to worry so much about the comp side of it, or being in a match where I might be terrible and I'm ruining someone else's game. But yeah, not really much else to say about it. These are the other execution types you can see there. So there's like a decapitation. That one, that was like a sort of more showy one. Bonk, another decap. There's like little victory animations you can do, or sort of taunts that you can throw at different players. Emotes, as they're calling them. I don't really know if there was anything else I was looking at there. Oh yeah, then I think I had a look at the traits, and there's a few different abilities. You can unlock 3 in each category, although some of them seemed a bit less useful, I don't know. It's probably one of those things again where you sort of work out a build as you go. But anyway, look out for more For Honor videos. I quite like this one. Let us know what you think of For Honor below, if you had to go the beta, or what your general impressions are. And I'll see you next time. Critical Rocket signing out. Thanks for watching.